So this was a couple of years ago, not too long ago. And it was the month of May. I started noticing just a slight soreness in my left ankle. And I had no idea why, because I didn't hurt myself in any way that I knew of. And my ankle didn't hurt if you pressed on it. But the more and more I walked on it or stood on it, it would hurt. It would ache, and I would have to, like, when I got home from a long day, put it up. But like, it didn't matter. Like, I could ice it or whatever. It didn't matter because there wasn't like anything wrong with it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I said, like, you press on it, there's no pain from pressing, it just hurt inside. So the pain was getting progressively worse as the weeks went by. And then at some point in July, it was spreading. It was really, really aching a lot. Like, I really didn't even want to walk on it. The pain was going all the way up my leg. And I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And I remember I went to sleep one Sunday night thinking to myself, oh, if it doesn't get better, I don't think I can, like, get up tomorrow. This is really bad. So I woke up the next morning and I felt in the back of my thigh this, like, not painful, but just like little, like, I'm trying to explain, like little pulses in the back of my thigh, like underneath my thigh, in that leg. And it didn't hurt at all. It was just little pulses, and I was thinking, oh, I bet it's better. That's just like, because it doesn't hurt. That's not a painful feeling. I think it must have gotten all better, and I'm gonna be good today. Yeah, right. So I got up and I was like, it doesn't feel better, it still hurts. It was still pulsing, and I had to get up early that day. It was like before 6 o'clock, I think, because my son was going on a camp trip to Six Flags Great Adventure amusement park, and he needed to be at camp really early because it's a long drive. So I got myself all ready to go. He was already downstairs waiting for me, and so I was all ready to go. I was like, oh, my leg is killing. And then I started to descend the staircase, and instantly my left leg went like numb from like the bottom of my foot up to my hip, and searing pain hit me like you can't imagine. So I got myself down the stairs and I grabbed the phone and I just threw myself to the floor. I couldn't even like stand or move for another millisecond. It was that bad. My son is just sitting there looking at me like, yeah, whatever, same old, right? Like, run-of-the-mill day with my mother. When it's totally not. Like, that's not the kind of life we lead. So, I'm like, oh my god, my leg, oh my god, oh my god. And so I call up my husband, and I'm like, I'm telling him what's going on. He's at work, and he works like 10 minutes away. And I said, you have to come here, and you have to pick up, our son and bring him to camp. Because he needs to catch that bus. And he's like, oh, come on. He's like, just throw yourself in the car and bring him. I'm like, I can't move. I am like in the most extreme pain. It's like, okay, imagine, like sometimes when you ever wake up in the middle of the night with like that crazy spasm in your calf muscle. doesn't come in the house, he just pulls up. My son goes in the car, and that's the end of that. And I'm still laying on the floor. Okay, no kidding. This is my family for you. So, my daughter was upstairs sleeping because she was supposed to go on that same trip, but she didn't want to go to Six Flags because she doesn't like, big roller coasters and stuff, so she was staying home. So I started screaming her name because I wanted her to get me like some kind of pills or something. And she doesn't hear me at all. I'm calling her cell phone, she doesn't answer. I'm calling the house phone thinking that might wake her. I'm screaming messages into the answering machine because I thought she would hear it because it's upstairs. No, she doesn't wake up. Not at all. So finally she does wake up. I ask her to come down and get me, some, like a pill. It was, my husband actually has a really bad back, and so he has some pills laying around. But I had never taken them, and I was like a little fearful, so I just took half a pill. And that was a big mistake because half a pill won't do anything. Even if you've never took it before, it's just not enough. But, so I made a mistake, whatever, it didn't help at all. So basically, the whole day went by with me just laying on the floor. I literally could not move because if I moved, every little tiny movement felt like an electric shock through my leg into my hip. So I did speak to my husband, and he kind of, I guess he got the idea that it was pretty bad. He made me an appointment for the chiropractor that night because they could see me. So how did I get up and go through that is the question. Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. It took forever to just get out of the house and get into the car, get to the place. When I walked in, they were like, oh my god. And they actually said to me I was the second worst looking person that ever came in there. Meaning bad looking in terms of condition. They said the other one was a guy who couldn't even make it through the front door and laid on the grass crying. Okay, so I was the second worst. That made me feel good. So anyway, the chiropractor did some adjustments and whatever, and I did feel like a drop more mobile, but not really much. And so the next day I got an appointment to the orthopedist, who said, it was probably a herniated disc in my back. Mind you, I didn't have back pain, it was all leg pain, but it's all connected. So I got an MRI. Which showed exactly that. It was one of the discs in my lower back. Now, if you understand discs, they are like jelly donuts. So if you herniate a disc, it's like the jelly part just starts to bulge out a little and hits a nerve that's right there in your spine, and causes pain in various places depending on, which nerve it hits. So in my case, it wasn't just herniated, they called it extruded, which means that like if it was a jelly donut, like a whole stream of jelly didn't just bulge, it just came out, and it was like really highly affecting the nerve. So what's next? Then you go to if it was permanent damage or not permanent. So they can't tell that. They just know it's, damaged. So he referred me to a, what do you call it? Some kind of surgeon. Neurosurgeon. Yeah, a neurosurgeon. Okay. And that guy said, listen, it's a 50-50 chance. If the nerve is permanently damaged, then surgery won't help. If the nerve is not permanently damaged, then it will. The issue now, at this point in time, because some time had passed, the pain was mostly gone, but my leg, well, it was, at this point, my foot was numb, and the muscle in my calf was weak. Like, I couldn't stand up on my tippy toes on my left foot. So that was the main issue, and primarily the numbness was what was really bothering me the most. So just so you understand what I'm talking about when I say numbness, so pretend this is my foot, okay? It's my left foot, okay? This is the bottom of my foot, right? And the numbness is from, like, okay, it's the tip of, let's say the tip of these toes, the tip of these toes, on the back side only, the sole side. The tip of these toes, and then down this part of the foot, and into the heel. Okay, the arch of the foot is fine, and the thumb and first toe, fine. So this part is all fine, and this part is all fine, but basically this part numb. Okay, which is a creepy, gross feeling, especially in the beginning when you're not used to it. So I said, alright, 50-50 chance, let me do it, because if I don't, I'll always wonder. I'll be like, oh, I could have fixed this problem. So I went ahead, I had this surgery, and sadly, it did not work. I mean, you don't know right away, but after 6 months or a year, it didn't work. So, it didn't make anything worse, but it didn't make anything better. And, that's basically the story. So, I'm still dealing with that now. I've gotten used to it. I don't have the pain, but the numbness in my foot is still there. And my calf muscle in that leg is still on the weak side. I mean, it's fine. That doesn't, my other leg makes up for it. I don't notice it really, but, it is a thing. So anyway, I can't even give you any warnings or any advice because I don't even know how this happened. It's just I must have just twisted a weird way or lifted something at some point and took off from there. Backs are a strange thing. Alright, so I thank you very much for joining me for this story time. I hope it was somewhat interesting or relaxing at least. And I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are.